Hello, my dear children. Can we start a new unit today? Unit 13. How do plants propagate? Do you remember? Look at that yellow color box. These are your previous knowledge related to this chapter. First, we can recall these previous knowledge. The stem growing in the soil are called underground stem. Look at these examples. The first picture is onion. The second one is ginger and third one is corn and last one is the potato. We will misunderstand that these parts are the root portion of the plant because these plants are growing under the soil. But actually these parts are stem portion of the plant. Do you know which is the most attractive part in a plant? No doubt it will be flower. Flower is the reproductive part also. A flower has sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. First part we can take petal. Imagine this flower without this petal. Is it beautiful? No. Petal makes the flower beautiful. The second part is the sepal. Sepal is the green color part which is protecting the flower. Other two parts are the reproductive parts. Stamen is the male part and pistil is the female part. Stamen consists of two parts. The top one is the yellow one, that is called anther, and the tube-like structure is called filament. Anther and filament together makes the stamen. Next is the female part. The top one is stigma, the middle part is style and the last part, bottom part is the ovary. These three parts consist a female part called pistil. Do you see the yellow feathery part on the flower? This is the male part of the flower called stamen. That is where the pollen is made. Now this middle pink part of the flower is pistil, which is the female part of the flower. This is where the pollen needs to go, so the flower can make seeds. Butterflies and bees pollinate the flowers. Do you know what is pollination? It is the movement of pollen from the stamen to pistil. Not only these bees and butterflies, birds also helps for pollination. Look at this hummingbird. These flowers attracted this hummingbird. So hummingbird is collecting or sucking the nectar from the flower. Unknowingly, it is helping for pollination in the flower also. These mammal bat also helps for pollination in flowers. Pollination means transfer of pollen from male part to female part. After pollination, flower will make fruit. After pollination, flowers develop into fruits. Actually, the female part called pistil will develop into fruits. Seeds of plants are dispersed in many ways. Look at this squirrel. After eating this fruit, it will disperse the seeds of these fruits to different places. Not only squirrel, look at this dog. The body of the dog contains some seeds. So these animals will spread or transfer the seeds from one place to another place. Seeds germinate in the presence of air, water, and heat. Can we read the chapter? Amar and Amrin are very excited. Their uncle has agreed to take them to the flower show organized by Agro Horticultural Society. Now it is 4 o'clock. Both of them are ready to start. Grandmother and uncle are busy preparing for the trip. They kept two gunny handbags. Sometimes they can purchase some plants. Uncle bought the ticket. They entered through the main gate. The entrance itself was very attractive. There were many well arranged and attractive pavilions of plants sponsored by different persons. They started to observe the plants. Grandma, there are small plants full of flowers of different colors, Amar shouted. They are roses and others are bougainvillea, Grandma replied. Grandma, how are these plants made? Amrin asked. The workers of the nursery cut the stem, keep it in the soil, and water frequently. New roots are developed from the edge of the stem. New buds grow and bloom, Grandma replied. Reproduction in plants through stems, roots, and leaves. We know that plants reproduce through seeds. But are only seeds responsible to produce new plants? What will be your answer be? Yes or no? Before you give the answer, let's find out some interesting facts. Can you locate the eyes of the potato? Potatoes do have eyes, but not like you and me. Their eyes are actually the green bud-like structure that grow into different plants. Potato is actually an underground stem that produces only through its stem. Ginger, rose and sugarcane are also reproduced through stem. When we plant stem of rose plant, it will grow into new plants. Can you list the name of plants which can be propagated by cutting and planting the stem? Some examples we have discussed now. Can you give some more examples for stem cutting plants? Rose we have discussed here, potato, ginger and all. Then bougainvillea, what about bougainvillea plant? What about hibiscus plant? So can you give some more examples here in these three lines? Grandma, small oranges. A small plant with many fruits. We may purchase one ma, Amma requested. Is it the branch of a big plant? Amrin inquired. Of course, but the method of preparation is different, Uncle explained. A small part of the outer layer of a branch is removed using a knife. A mixture of humus and soil is pasted to that part. It is covered with a polythene sheet. After few days, new roots grow from the wound. Cut the branch below that and plant in a polythene bag. This process is called layering. You can see the growth of roots here. Cut the branch below that root and plant it in a pot or any polythene bag. This process is called layering. Cuttings of underground stems. You collect some potatoes. Keep them in a piece of wet cloth. Observe them after a few days. What do you see? Do this activity. You can see the presence of small green buds. Those buds develop into new plants. How do we cultivate common ginger? So you can write your answer there. Common ginger also same way. That common ginger also underground stem. The next question, they are stems growing in the soil. They are called underground stems. Find out more examples. So there you find out more examples of underground stem. Propagation by roots. Look, what beautiful flowers are they? Amrin said. They are dahlia, Grandma replied. Here are saplings of curry leaf plant, Amar said. Grandma, are they planted by cutting the stems? Amar enquired. No, curry leaf plant and dahlia are propagated by the roots, Grandma said. We have a big plant at home. You can see a number of saplings growing from the roots, Grandma said. Look at the roots of dahlia. New buds grow from them. Can you give more examples of plants propagated by roots? Not only stems but also the roots rise to new plants. Plants like carrot, radish, turnip grow from roots. If we plant a cut portion of top of the carrot or turnip, a new plant will grow from it. There are some plants that reproduce by their leaves. Bryophyllum plants produce tiny plantlets from margins of their leaves. These plantlets fall off after some time and grow into new plants. Propagation by leaves. Look, Grandma, here is a leaf lying on the floor. It has buds throughout the sides of the blade. See, the roots are growing from the base of each bud. Grandma explained. Each bud will develop into a new plant. Can you give more examples for this? One example is already given, bryophyllum. One more example if you can write, that will be good. Now if you've understood that some plants can grow from roots, stem or leaves. These types of propagation are called vegetative propagation. So what do you mean by vegetative propagation? A new plant arises from the root, stem or leaf, not from the flower or seed. Okay, that is called vegetative propagation. So vegetative propagation means new plants arise from other parts than except seed or flower. Which are the other parts? Roots, stem or leaf.